And here we are.
Here we are. Pete and I have switched places.
Yeah, just to confuse you guys when I put you back up there. Like, how can I freak you guys out?
My God, Amy's grown a beard.
Whoa, don't tell anybody. Pete looks really different. Don't say anything.
Like now we're in like a sandwich. Like Pete's in a Amy Angela sandwich, but maybe we better not go further with that.
Yeah. We sometimes find ourselves like, whoops, how did we get here in this topic of conversation? And we have to watch it because
that does happen to us sometimes.
Freeform. Yeah, exactly.
Noticed. Yes.
Yeah. That's part of our unscripted charm, I'll say.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Charm.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, self-proclaimed charmed, you know.
That's
like, I don't know if anybody else is saying that, but that's what
I'll go with charm. Yeah, let's go with charm. I like it.
But welcome both you guys. We have Pete Kelly, we have Amy Zoellers. Anybody who has ever been around this sphere at all is very familiar with both of you anyways, so I don't really have to say anything, but if you guys want to introduce yourselves real quick, let's start with that. Like how about Pete, because he's in the middle?
Oh, okay.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'll follow Pete's lead. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That could be embarrassing. Yeah, well, as Angela said, I'm Pete Kelly from Portsmouth in the UK. A very cold and wet UK, that is, I might say. Nothing like the warmth of Brazil, I can tell you. Oh, don't. Honestly. Summer is a distant memory over here at the moment. But yes, yeah. I suppose that's really about it. Really, I've known you two guys for how long now? It must be about a good couple of
years anyway. Yeah. That was the National Poetry Month of 2021 when we really started having a lot of people's stuff to read, and that was probably it.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I didn't realise it. I mean, because the poem was accepted by Space and Time magazine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
And that's basically. I think that's where it all kind of started, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Space and Time is officially the sponsor of this show, by the way. I just remembered.
Oh,
nice.
I bought a friend of mine a batch of Space and Time magazines from Amazon.
Oh, did you?
He absolutely adores it. He's an artist. It's Jim from Dawn of the Dead.
Oh,
yeah. He absolutely adores it. He reminds him of like myself as well. Like Heavy Metal magazine, that kind of thing with different artists and interesting places they go.
One of our cover artists used to do work for Heavy Metal magazine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of in our little sphere. It's huge. It's just massive. It is. Everyone who was like teens, early 20s read those because it was Yeah,
and there wasn't a lot else to read, so
smaller world back then. Yeah.
I want to welcome. We've got AF Stewart and we've got Nina in the audience saying hi. I flashed those comments out. I remembered to check comments. We're already on a good roll for this year.
That's right. Here we go.
All right. Well, how about you, Amy?
Yep.
Who are you, Amy? Who are you?
Yeah.
Now that's a question, Angela, that is going to take some time.
We only have about a half an hour, man.
Okay. Okay. Lucky for you. Poet. Okay. Amy Zoellers, confessional poet, meaning I just like to go on and on about my stories. I just got a lot of stories to tell. And so I do that. And thank God we can do those books on Amazon now. I've got some books on Amazon so that like my family doesn't have to just be talked into the ground because I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. And you know what? They're both guys. The other two people in this house are guys. And Pete, no offense. It's just that the guys in my house are like, you know, off in guy land a lot. And so I'll be they always are like, I'm doing my heart song. And they're like, oh, hey, my husband will be like in the middle of my heart song of whatever important story I'm telling. Oh, Clyde, go do what do you do? Do you have your uniform for scouts and this and that? And I'm like, what just happened?
Excuse me, I'm bearing my soul, you asshole.
And so he has come up with the phrase, I don't like this phrase. He's like, Amy, you want to be an object of fascination. I'm like, yeah. And so he thinks that's a bad thing. I'm your wife. I should be your object of fascination. The end. Solved it. Just fix the universe. You're welcome.
Yes.
But anyway, I like to write poetry. I love how Angela billed this as morbid poetry with Pete and Amy. And so like I do sometimes write morbid poetry and sometimes I write just ecstatical poetry about life. And I just discovered the word, you might know this. I did not study philosophy ever, but I got this really great book called At the Existentialist Cafe by Sarah something Bakewell, the Bakewell tarts. I've read about this in the English cookbooks, right? Okay, so anyway, Sarah Bakewell, and she's like talking about, you know, all the existentialist philosophers and how they built on something called phenomenology, which is basically living your life and just like sucking the guts out of everything you see and then writing back. I'm like, that's me. That's me. So anyway,
I'm a phenomenologist.
Existentialist because, you know, they're always thinking about their lives. So anyway, that's it. Boom. The short version. You can read any of my books and you'll find out more than you want to know. So there you go.
But you are the object of that fascination. So
that's right. If you need an object of fascination, right here. Okay, here we go. You've got
Nina approves.
Absolutely. Yes.
I have to admit, when you said that
Nina
about
my heart.
Nina is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
When you said that about morbid poetry, I was like, oh yeah, I did call it that because I was super jet lagged when I set this up. What else did I say?
I think that is like, I loved it. I don't know how to market myself right. You know, it's like, I'm always like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then, so you think like that, I'm like, oh, people are going to like that. I'm going to like put morbid, hashtag poetry, hashtag morbid poetry. And like the goths are going to be like, morbid, what? And so
instead of, what is that? Moms against drinking mad will be like morbid moms against whatever.
That's right. Against, well, you know, idiots that don't like poetry, for crying out loud. But
So what would that be? Morbid? And it can't be moms because Pete, I don't think, can be a mom, probably possibly. Not, I mean,
okay, morbid poets against.
Tried really hard.
It doesn't spell anything good. Yeah, that's hard to say.
So. Okay, so morbid poets against everybody. In parentheses, who doesn't like poetry?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Impassioned about poetry.
So, well, I think the three of us here kind of presents the poetic United Nations here because we have three nations right here, the nice little stripes. So this could be the flag. Our shiny faces. This is the flag.
Screen grab that. Done.
Three poetic weirdos walked into a bar and
Oh yeah, that's the name of my next chapbook. Three poetic weirdos walked into a bar. Big John's Corner Bar. Yeah.
We have to be careful because at one point one of us will say, oh, that sounds like a great show. And then we'll go on this long 2-year thing of people going,
we will.
What the hell is cake and hyperbole?
Yeah. That was an homage to those who don't know to I Love to Bake Cakes. Angela had this thing where she was a solo reader as a kid and sometimes would mispronounce words because she'd never heard them spoken. She would only see them. And so hyperbole, she thought was hyperbole. And I was like, but it is hyperbole. Hyperbole is hyperbole.
Hyperbole.
So we were like, that's our next show. So yeah.
Well,
So
I must admit, I never hadn't actually seen hyperbole spelt before,
yeah.
and
It's weird.
yes,
It looks
is.
like
Yeah,
hyperbole.
yeah.
Like, what is wrong with the English language? I can say in Brazil,
No,
where I don't.
no.
Because it
Nobody's
takes
going
from
to
so many
argue with
other
me here.
languages.
I could tell it's
English
nothing to do
people are
with me.
stupid, and then they're like, "Yeah, we have no idea what you're talking about."
Oh yeah, I gotta say,
Yeah.
I love it. I'm just
I
writing
do
down
too.
3 weirdo poets walk into a bar. That's all. I'm just making notes. Also
Next show,
remembering,
people, right here.
also remembering, thinking of Pete and going, gosh, in 2000, my sister and I went to London. I just remember how unamused every English person seemed to be with us, except for this one guy who took our picture at the Trafalgar Square. No, wait, no, he might have been one of the unamused. But it was our waiter at the Savoy who looked like a young Paul McCartney and was the only one who did not make fun of me for not ordering wine at our table, because we were at a group table, you know, and even my sister made fun of me. But anyway,
Goodness.
he didn't, and so he's always in my heart, that waiter at the Savoy. I was like 25, I guess, but I drink wine now. I've gotten over all my not all my fears.
Meanwhile, I'm thinking, yeah, he was going, look at this weirdo. We're going to take pictures
Yeah,
of these,
that guy,
these
yes,
weird Americans.
Trafalgar Square, we tried his patience, and we were like, boom, boom, done, but we were just being American. We probably smiled too much.
Yeah.
People hate that. I don't know. I get it.
Well, here it's like people are very smiley and loving, and I'm the American going, what is wrong with you? Why are you socializing with yourself? Boundaries. And they're like, no, there's no boundaries. I love you. Life is great. We're going to die.
That's what I was saying. How like I tried to be that way with all my neighbors once I was like a new bride and stuff. Nobody wanted it. Now I'm like, I don't like anybody. Fine, you know.
Embrace my American culture. Back off.
Yeah, I thought we were friendly. I was wrong.
We are not.
Not always. No.
All right.
I used to be introduced as this is Pete. He hates everyone. That's true. No, that's true. But I was just saying that you know, people can be cruel behind your back and that sort of thing. So don't be overly trusting. But she interpreted that as, oh, he just hates everyone. Like,
well, only mostly everyone.
Fairy tale. I get it.
Definitely, Pete wanted to be really popular because that's what you do with cats. You're like, I don't like cats, and then the cats will be like, "Well, let us get on you."
Yeah,
Oh, I love cats. I'm their mommy, and they're my babies. So there you go.
Pretty much love all animals, including the giant spiders floating in the pool.
Oh yeah, I might draw the line right about there. Well, in the pool he's fine, but I've had some encounters where they weren't ideal.
I'm not in the pool with them at the same time. You'll also notice.
Okay. That was one of the things I was always impressed about with Angela, was that she's like, I love spiders and they're welcome in my home. I'm like, what? But did you see the one that showed up in our basement when it flooded? It was the size of my head. Oh my God.
I will say, I saw a brown recluse here that looked like a small tarantula. And I took a picture of it because I was like, surely that is not a brown recluse because it's huge. And those, I don't know if you're familiar with those spiders, Pete, but they are
they're a menace.
Pretty bad. Yeah, they'll do the necrotic thing where if they bite you, your flesh can start rotting. Not 100% guaranteed, but it can.
But
which is like a good reason not to be bitten because it can. So I saw that and I was like, oh, dude, I am so sorry, but
yeah. We're just not playing.
Yeah,
that's right.
Sorry, I identified you. You are not a wolf spider. Goodbye.
Farewell. Yes. On to the afterlife.
But I mourned him. So I mourned my enemies. We weren't even really enemies. It was just unfortunate circumstances for both of us.
Wrong place, wrong time. Yeah, exactly.
What I'm trying to tell the police, and I didn't mean to kill that person. It was just
they caught me on a bad day, and
I mistook him for a giant brown recluse.
Easily done. Easily done.
Easily done.
So we still obviously have dogs. Also, Nina says, no screens, no boundaries. Keep it flowing. TDM. TDM means taxi driver mama, which I don't have my taxi driver hat on. I stopped wearing it a little while ago for some reason, and now it's too hot. It is way too hot. So
New
y'all
life.
get my wet shower hair because
Gorgeous.
it's hot.
Hello, gorgeous.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Really? Really?
I would flip it, but it's all stiff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going out a bit later, and I've got to put all these layers on to go out. So yeah, green with envy.
Gosh, I love it. It's like 23 here today. Which
Oh, shut up!
No, that's 23 for Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius.
So that's pretty cold.
Oh, that's cold.
Pretty cold. But I love it because it's like I do have to go pick my kid up from a scout thing, but I'm like, nobody cares if I just vanish when it's like 23 degrees. I like it. It's good.
Oh, it's 25 here, but Celsius. so
what is that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what that is. What is that in Fahrenheit?
Probably about 85 to 90.
Yeah.
We thought it was 85 in Independence, Missouri in January. Well, sometimes, basically it could be anywhere from 20 below to 60 because Missouri does what it wants to do. We're in the middle. And
when we left, it was a rare summery day. I think it was like, now all the numbers are confused in my head of Celsius and Fahrenheit. But it's pretty darn warm. And I'd given away my jacket because I'm not going to need it in Brazil. And we had a Florida visitor who was freezing to death. So, that was my son's fiance. And and then we come here and it's like, so it was like -0, I think. Like it was really, really cold. We had like the biggest blizzard ever. And then one warm day. And then we're on the plane. And then Brazil. And our body was like, what is going on?
Yeah. Then your sinuses rebel and everything's just a mess.
Your poor dogs are like, can we shed or not shed? I don't know.
Yeah, really.
We're so confused.
That's so cute to think of them being like, no, not yet. Oh, babies.
So we are all here for the same reason, and that is poetry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that each of you have special poetry projects that you have promised. I do believe this is a promise, so you don't want to disappoint us that you will read from. Am I correct? Pete and Amy? Okay. I just want to make sure.
Did I promise something? I might have. I'm going to read from this one, and you're going to read from that one. Okay, how's that? Is that cool?
Yes, and I have both of those on my phone, and I do not have any special poetry projects, but I did write a poem about the jungle. Oh,
hey, all right.
Based on Hallucinated City by Mario de Andrade, which is a Brazilian poet here. Which is funny because I keep showing all the Brazilians here. Not everybody's a poet, and it's hard to remember that. But I keep going, look what I have. And they're like, yeah, a book about an old dead poet.
Did they know him, though? I mean, at least they know him.
Yeah,
here everybody's like, Mario?
Sparkly than I thought. I kind of be like, oh, Mario de Andrade, you're reading him. Wow. And instead it's kind of like,
him.
Yeah, it's kind of like when we say, look, I'm reading Emily Dickinson, and we're all like, oh, that's cool.
I love her.
I do too.
But man, if you say Mario,
why are we not communicating?
I don't know what's happening. Why I'm on the wrong planet. I need that poetry planet that I made up in my mind, but Yeah, Mario de Andrade, you say that here and everybody's like, and Luigi? They think of the video game, So
is that one cook guy on that show with the pasta?
Oh, right. Either that or the Italian plumber. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've got to say, I mean, over here, you mentioned the P word itself, and people generally run away very quickly.
Yeah. Oh, shucks.
Yeah. Oh, my God, he's going to write some poetry.
Yep.
Pretend like we're all deaf or we don't speak.
Yes, please.
I got to go. I don't have time to hear you.
That's right. Oh. Yes. Don't clap.
Well, a secret is pinning people in the shower. That's what I do.
That is what I learned from Angela.
Yeah, I stop him. He gets in the shower, and then it's like, oh, hi. Would you like to hear a poem I just wrote?
Captive audience, yeah.
Oh, I just happened to put the towel over here beyond your reach while I read my poem.
Wait, I'm almost done. One page to go.
But here we are amongst our people. There's 3 of us. We're not a big group, and we've got Nina and Anita in chat. But yeah, so a small select group of people. Only the coolest people are here.
That's right.
Well, especially here and where Amy is as well. We're very cool. Yes.
It's very cool. Very,
One
very
of us
cool.
apparently.
You're the hot poet. I'll send you my hot poet shirt. You
right,
send it back in the summer. Yeah.
A hot poet.
We'll trade it back and forth.
Yeah, and AF Stewart is from Canada, so we have 4 nations represented here right now.
Ooh, nice.
And Nina is like upstate somewhere in the US, so that's practically Canada. That's
Yeah,
like
New
lower
York.
Canada.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's read
Nice.
some poetry though, because we did promise we're going to make a shorter, faster, streamlined show.
Yeah. Yeah.
You promised.
I don't think I promised that. I just said that.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't promise to try, but we'll try to try. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll attempt.
Yes, exactly.
Who would like to take the stand first and read? Not to put you guys on the spot. It's only Amy or Pete though. So what do you got to pick it?
What do you think, Pete?
Oh, are you ready to go? I'm just there as well. So, yeah. Do you want to go?
Sure, I'll go ahead.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to read from Wassail to the Mausoleum Cakes, which is, I put my face on the cover because my cat, if you can see, is behind my back. I was playing the guitar and he popped up. It was so let me talk more about my cat. Well, anyway, this is it's Christmas ghost is the theme. So there's Christmas ghost stories and Christmas ghost poems. And I'm going to get my glasses. I don't know if I need them. But I wrote a poem called, and I read it's a 5-part poem called 2 Ghosts Share a Sweater. I'm only going to read the first 2 parts. Relax. I read the 3rd part at one of our things last month. I don't remember which one. But so each part is named after a word, like 2 ghosts share a sweater. I'm going to read 2 and ghost. Part 1 is 2. I have not yet entered my wonderland, as I died in December, and that is the time when I roam the city at night. The night is a voluptuous pulsing shade of violet in death. Various planets are now plausible destinations, but I am held back by the tugging sensation of necessary errands. Roaming the night, bodiless, has glide as its main feature, boating on mists mingling. I and the violet night. I drift among the houses. These few, given the Christmas treatment, strike me as the capable and caring elder siblings of the desperate and the frazzled. Those who string lights, etc., foster a calming glow, whose colors sing the vibration of the sacred. The colors freeze and canter, crystalline, croon a roundelay in emerald and glass xylophones. Part 2, Ghosts. I like him. He sure can mix a drink, a substantial one, with a faint blue glimmer and lavish ethereal cherries. When he asks my name, I can't find it in my mind. December? December was important somehow. His eyes draw back, nearly squinting. Did I get it wrong? His gaze lands, forceful, on the surface of the bar, intense upon the highball glasses, fierce wherever it lights. Fire. The blue of his large and almondine eyes spread their luminescence to whatever they touch. His mind is otherworldly, I deduce, clean and strange, its garnet skies raining quicksilver and galaxy opals, gushing, fearless, stabbing art while he lived before his hair caught fire, and still it burns, waving its gentle blue flames, cartoonish in their languor, gaslight tendrils reaching, vanishing to pointed tips and regrouping, lava lamp lullaby. I named his specialty drink the lava lamp lullaby. Tasting a drink in death, it spins. Molecules of deep-hued, bombastic essences orbit the molecules of me, sky swimming in perfume of a banquet. I can't recall why I know him. He seems to remember more than I do. Who is this? With those iridescent stones for eyes. We always wind up at the swanky bar in the train station. He knows why. He is drawn to the flames of my hands, starved for their heat. I am drawn to all of him. He is the aroma of sweet spice and piney forest, of myrrh mixed with wine, of old wood, of too many earthly delights. I ache to swim and to swallow. And that's the first 2 parts of 2 Ghosts Share a Sweater. Uh-oh, it got steamy. Well, thank you.
Hey,
All right.
I was
Wow.
actually, I was
That
like,
was-
yeah, why did I put morbid poetry? Oh, yeah.
Here's some ghosts sharing the sweater. But sometimes that's another reason to think of earthly delights. The end
Exactly.
of that.
Yes.
Mm.
Lost sale to the mausoleum cakes. But Amy Zoellers. Thank you, Miss
I
Nina.
have that on my Kindle, and I
Yes.
have your book on my Kindle, Pete. So, and we
I have a
have
hard copy.
applause from the audience.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Amy, I've got to say as well, listening, reading as well. I always find I'm a line behind because you put so much detail in, and it's not a complaint. That's not a complaint. It's just you find you're actually trying to absorb quite a lot of it.
Which is
And
why
always the same. I'm a line behind. So if I'm thinking, it's because I'm thinking about the line you just
You're like,
said
wait,
before.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
That's why you all want
Funny.
a copy of Lost Sale to the Mausoleum Cake, so you can spend time with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you really
Thank you,
do have
Pete.
to drink it in. There's so much in there, like the layers
Like
and
life.
the sparkles and the life and the smells and the
Phenomenology.
Yeah.
phenomenology. You are a
And the-
fabulous phenomenologist.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I finally found what I am. I didn't know what it was called.
Yay!
I read some philosophy, and now I know.
But it's
My
also
husband didn't bother to tell me.
also the vast distances you travel as well. I mean, you're going to distant planets, but then you come straight back down to a cocktail bar.
That's right.
You know, and
It
it's
goes.
just sort of, where are you going? Where are you going? Yeah, it's wonderful.
Union Station has a really cool bar. Can't remember what it's called, but you'll know it. It's the only bar. There's the Harveys, and then there's the bar. So there you go.
Ever get to Union Station in Kansas City?
That's right. Angela, I'm sorry you missed your chance if you didn't go there, but you'll be back sometime.
I did go to Union
Probably.
Station once. It was cool.
Yeah,
You know, so I was like,
it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
They fixed
they
it up
had, like,
specifically for
trains
the
and-
movie. Yeah, they do. You can catch the train there. There was a movie when I was in college, like 96 or something, called Kansas City, and they have like Jennifer Jason Leigh in it and Dermot Mulroney or somebody. And so they fixed up Union Station was like a trash hole, and they fixed it up, and now they use it. So I mean, they've been using it, but a little corner of it, you know. So yeah,
because now it's
former glory.
quite posh. It's very like, you know, we had coffee and kind of considered ourselves like that was our month's entertainment.
Yeah,
That's all we can
that
afford.
Parisi, yeah, I can't afford that. What the heck? We would go there and wander through to see the Christmas decorations every year, and this is the first year since we've been married that they have gated part of it off, that you have to now pay admission, $9 a person, $9 to go see their. And Jason's like, you can tell through the cracks that it's like freaking out lights and stuff. It's like, no, it's just beautiful, you know, lights and wreaths and stuff, and so dumb. But anyway,
inflation from $0 to $9.
I know, for real. Sheesh. Okay, I thank you. Thank you for.
That's not the train station they used in the Kingfisher, was it? For that big
maybe
waltz scene.
know.
There was that like kind of like dreamy waltz scene in the film.
Ooh. Well, I'm
not
gonna
sure
have to
if it was
check that
that
out.
station they used.
Because there are a lot of towns that have train stations called Union Station, but this is like from, I think they built it in 1914 or 1915, and so it had this big period of glory days, and then it decayed when people took planes more. And
a monster got shot on those steps. That's what I always remember from it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I probably spent
kind of a mobster. Yeah,
like a monster. Got shot on those steps, and there's a big story about it. That's what I remember about Union Station, is walking around on the steps trying to figure out, where did he die? Where would he have been looking up this way? So
yeah, it's great. It's great in that movie, Kansas City. Jennifer Jason Leigh works the telegraph counter or whatever, telegraph counter, and somebody asked her, "Oh, there was a big shootout here last year." She's like, "Yeah, I was working here, wasn't I?" So yeah, they mention it in that movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because it was like 1932.
Was he standing, and were there bloodstains still anywhere? Because that's what I'm curious about.
That's always the question. Yep. I haven't seen
so you're a phenomenologist, and I can be a morbidologist.
I like it. We all will consult Angela with our morbidology.
Because we're all going to die. Are you having a great mood? Well, let me let you know you're probably going to die soon. So it all ends. You having a great day? It's going to end.
It's just suck all that stuff out of life because
You're great at parties.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so
Just-
good. I never get invited.
just let the cocktails flow and we'll be fine.
Yeah. How about you, Pete? And I do need to keep that down sometimes. On the plane recently, so the lady's like, "Yeah, I just flew for the first time ever, and I was so scared, and it was great." And I said, "Well, yeah, that's great statistically. Then you're good because if you think about how many people die on planes, you've already leapt through that." And she was like, "I wish I hadn't talked to you." So,
Yeah. I hate planes.
that a lot.
Them. It's
Yeah.
All right, but Pete,
Yes.
speaking of morbid, because Pete is the master of dark and morbid and gothic poetry over here. And Nina says she has to leave, but she will catch it afterwards. So goodbye, Nina. Thank you.
Nina.
Bye, Nina.
Bye.
She's holding us to that. You guys said shorter.
Oh, I will have to pick up my kids, so I don't even
Yes.
know what time it is, but he'll see me when he sees me. Okay, go ahead.
All right, it is now Pete's turn for part of the morbidity, whatever.
Okay. Hopefully this will go well. The lighting in here look great. It's, right. This is a walk in the woods, which I thought was appropriate, as it's the one that started it all.
Yeah.
Right. Under a ceiling of oppressive cloud, the night brings out a doubtful fear. Movement is momentary, peripheral, with subtle sounds that think you hear. Eerie harmonics of a chill wind playing. Icy fingers penetrate clothes to stroke skin. Trees toy at shadow play in the gloom, twisted anew with every bolt of lightning. Thunder swells, rolling up failing nerves, riding up your spine with a banshee wail. Footfalls increase with clumsy momentum, as upon a ship in a tempestuous gale. Unseen eyes watch your progress, hungry, as twigs are snapped to keep your attention. Sensing the heightened heartbeat of fear and sending out to others a bloody invitation. Like all good things, this playtime must end. And suddenly the wood is quiet and deathly still. The moment of insanity, a pearl in the oyster. As bursting from storybooks, we become real. I think I just scared the cat. I mean,
Why is Daddy so angry?
yes. Oh, he's always again. Oh, he's just doing his poetry. Yeah.
Oh, that is so awesome. That is so awesome, though. As I'm listening to, I'm thinking back over like the 2 years since I didn't hear it. I read that poem. I can't even remember what issue that is, but that is full circle.
It was 142, I think.
I think so. No.
Or was it? Or 141?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
141 or 140.
It should be.
Yeah.
It should be tattooed inside my head because that one was like. It was
a good one.
Because after sort of like 20 rejections and stuff like that, this came in as an email one Sunday. I looked at it. I thought, it's just another rejection. And I was going to just delete it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh my God! Yes.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
And then he saw the shit pay, and he was like, "Oh."
Anytime there's pay,
No,
so much
no.
the better. Yeah, you got paid for what you wrote. You know, it counts. Yeah.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? I mean, is it worth more if it's paid for, or can it just have more? You know, is the worth there without being paid? I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, some people like think there's something is worth something if it's been bought or paid for as such.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you because our culture is so obsessed with what you do
Money.
for a living.
Yeah.
What do you do? Because as somebody who's done art and poetry for almost 2 years, like without doing anything else, and I do sell things from Etsy, and I do like occasionally sell a story or a poem, but it's like and then the books or whatever. But it's like everybody just wants to know what you do, and when you say I'm an artist and a poet, they just think you're kidding, you know.
Oh, so a
At least where I live.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you do for a living?
But what job do you go to? And it's like you are not earning your keep if you're not out there like it's some paycheck thing, you know. So
have you ever been asked when you say like I'm a writer and somebody says, "Oh, do you get paid?"
Yeah.
You find paid. Sometimes
my soul gets paid and I don't hate my life. So the answer is yes.
Exactly. Well done, Pete. A.F. Stewart said she loved it. The applause from the audience. I of course loved it. Yeah. That was Linda D. Addison picked that out, and I think she picked well. She does great with the poetry. I mean, she picks all the good ones. So.
That's a fine magazine.
It's this is. I've got to say as well. This is so many levels above what has gone on before Space and Time magazine. This has just been incredible. It really, honestly, has been massively incredible. Pinching myself and that kind of thing. It's like, and a book as well. My God, Jesus Christ! My God!
Yes, which is also in my Kindle. All my books.
I have the hard copy.
When I actually pressed published, I thought, oh shit, what have I done?
Pete, I kept waiting for that to happen to me every time I would push publish because I used to be so like nobody must know what goes on in my
mind. No.
And now I did it like all these times, and I'm like, I don't think I care anymore. You know, nobody's reading it anyway. You know?
Well, actually, Amy, I can blame you for that anyway because I think it was a comment that you said last year, and you said something along the lines of if Pete put a collection of the vampire poetry together, I'd buy that.
And I did.
So it's your fault. So it's like, any true vampire, I need to be invited.
You have been right.
So I was just waiting.
Right?
And like any true poet, you went, I have one sale guaranteed. I'm doing it.
Exactly. One person will pay for this. I'm in. Yes.
No, actually two, because it'll be my mum as well. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, and I bought it, so that's
Mum's always. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, my aunt in my case is like, I want that person.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Going and get her purse. I go over and have coffee with her. Bring me one of your books. Well, they're great.
I would say I think this is one of the few times I've actually seen Pete without the dramatic black background.
I
was actually like
Pete in the house.
Is that daylight that I see coming through that window?
No, it's just a light. That was a pure by chance accident. I had to do the first video somewhere, and the only place I could do it was in this darkened room. And I just happened to be wearing a black jumper. Yeah. And have you ever seen Red Dwarf, the comedy program Red Dwarf? Well, look it up. On there, there's on the ship, on the starship, there's a computer, but it's got a black background with a face on it. And it wasn't until I actually went and did a few of those videos, I thought, oh Jesus, I look like Crichton. I look like him out of Red Dwarf. It's like his head bobbing around. He said, Mike, the guitarist from Gothamystic, he said, well, so whence have you been? When was it? When did you lose your body then?
Fair question.
That's my style. Thank you.
Right, yeah, it was. Yeah. Choice. Yeah, that happened to me when I was doing the 100-day project with the harp. And I would do it down here in the evening in the basement, and there's not any light. And I'd have something dark on, and I'd have just like, I don't remember how I had light. It might have just been like this light. And this gal we worked with at the library, Mary, was like, I love it when it's just like your head in the harp. And I'm like, I didn't mean to do that, but it was just like time, you know. Yeah. I couldn't do it in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, sorry. Oh, but I mean, I need to do that.
Yes, that was my choice, my stylization.
Some of the better ones are by accident. Because remember, Amy, you said something about, and the way that Pete got the lightning in the video. It wasn't. I didn't do that. It was every time you got close to the screen on the phone, it would darken, and every time you moved away from the screen, it would light up suddenly. So it looked like I was going backwards and forwards like that, and it looked like it was lightning.
Oh,
it was effective.
Special effects, yeah.
Something supernatural was on your side there.
Well, I mean, that's just a sign of how awesome the awesomeness that is here, because we're accidentally awesome. When you can accidentally be awesome,
you've got it.
Or maybe that's the trick is whatever happens, you just go, yeah, I meant to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You never.
Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Can you show me how you did that? No, I can't tell you that because I'll have to kill you otherwise.
It's a secret. It's a trade secret.
Yeah. Poet secret.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome.
Fun.
Okay. I just looked at the time, and we did promise that we were going to be shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do have a quick poem that is not published anywhere. I have no poetry books coming out. Well, soonish, but not any that I will talk about here because I can't remember them. But I will read a poem.
Yes, please.
And this was inspired by Hallucinated City by Mario de Andrade, who is Brazilian. Do you really?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I actually found a copy. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're not easy to find in English.
Yeah,
no, they're not. No.
This copy is Portuguese on one side with the poem in English on the other.
Yeah.
Mine too.
So I've been trying to read the Portuguese, and all the Brazilians kind of look at me like, I don't know what you're trying to say, but it's not Portuguese.
You're like, how about a lesson then? Like,
yes.
All right.
And my tongue just does not do the things like to say like debit or credit. It's credito and debito, and I say credito, and the cashier to 100% looks at me like, eh? Credito.
Like he's drunk. It's hard.
I think credito. Card.
Yeah.
You say that. We was in Crete for a couple of weeks one time, and the word for good morning and squid are very, very similar. Well, in my head they were. So he used to come down in the morning shouting, "Squid! Squid! Squid!" And all the staff would be chuckling. And then my wife came down with me one morning. She said, "Pete, do you know you're shouting squid at everyone?" No idea.
Like,
no idea.
It was a riot.
Oh my goodness. You do have to be careful. Apparently here, pow is bread, but it also means dick. So whatever you're saying, you could be at the bakery trying to buy a bag of dicks. So you do want to work on your pronunciation.
Oh no!
I could regale you with more stories of accidental obscenity.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Here for that, yes.
Yeah. So the credito thing, they're like, "Oh, it's her. What is she going to say now?"
She's so funny.
Oh, funny.
I will read this though, so we can wrap it up because our blessed and devoted, wonderful audience wasn't promised. It wasn't quite a promise. It was a try, and so we're trying.
We're working on it
to be briefer. But so this is not really, but we're gonna pretend like we're trying to wrap this up.
Yeah, you know.
This is, I called it Hallucinated Jungle after Mario de Andrade's Hallucinated City. And this was watching the rain come in with a sunset. And I'm going to just tell you, Brazil is freaking beautiful. Like it is, I swear the sky is closer or something. So like there's this weird sense of, I've never been overcome by an area like, oh, there must be like gods here or something. But here I am. Like I can very much believe in mystical happenings because it just seems like in the air. Or it could be the heat. It could just be the heat. Like, and I'm like hallucinating. Oh, hallucinated city. I get it. It's a way of saying that. So, but that's where this came from. Is I was watching a sunset when we were first here. and kind of just like overcome. And I was like, I'm going to try to put that in words. It's just not possible. But this was my attempt. Hallucinated jungle. Vital mist rises, a sunset exhale over the violent green that screams of living. The verdant cling envelops the rounded range, a mythical beast sleeping beneath crocheted lace of vine. Above, celestial, opalescent shimmer against cobalt, a heavenly dynasty eclipsing sensibilities as the pearl moon ascends. Palpable, full, enlightening, this beauty breaks brain, shatters soul, blinds with awe. My gray matter can't conceive the abundance of gold in flight, as a last touch of the sun gloriously unravels my flesh, untethering, cutting loose, setting free. Me, humbled, rendered, struck silent. All the words nothing but ego, poor attempts to hold God's pen to paper, to immobilize angels and scratches of ink. I walk through the heart of the world, dreams metered by thrumming astral pulse, invoking primeval divinity, steeped in rapture. Am I saying primeval right? Primeval?
Yeah, primeval.
Okay.
Is how I've heard it. But I mean, that was awesome. That was so much hallucinism, but also your very own. You know, it was very reverent, very reverent.
This area is very much like I have no words, you know.
Yeah.
But you found some. You found some exquisite words. I loved all the opals and the pearls and the celestial. Oh, it's beautiful.
A painting of words.
Yeah. Yes.
Sort of, yeah.
I suppose I shouldn't end it with, did I pronounce that right?
Hey, for all we know, that's what Mario de Andrade was always saying at the end of his bursts of poetry.
Yeah, I think that's starting to be a thing with me now. Like I say, Cregijo. Did I pronounce that right? That's like now the end of everything that I'm saying.
You have to say that now. Yeah.
Did I just ask you for a bag of dicks? Because I'm sorry, maybe.
Yeah. Let me think about it.
All right. Well, what have you guys? This is like the kind of the question of the, I guess, almost an hour now, but not meant to be an hour, a half hour. We'll just say a half hour and people will believe us. What have you guys got coming up? Alternative facts.
Working on the chapbook that has to do with the phenomenology, and I think I want to do my. I've got poet portraits behind me, and I want to kind of put those, I think, into a color book. I don't know, not like a coloring book, a book that's in color because the portraits are mostly in color. And then, but I don't know really how to approach it. I'm still figuring out. Am I going to write a poem about each poet? Or am I going to just write a blurb about each poet? Or is it going to be both? Or in the style of? I don't know. That's a big undertaking. I don't know how long it's going to take. And it's going to be called The Poets and Why They're Cool. That's the working title. But I did a series during the 100-Day Project. I didn't do 100 poets. I did about 40. And then it was National Poetry Month. And so I switched to the Sweater Prince, which is Sweater Poems, is one of my books on Amazon if you ever want to check it out. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I'm working on. I do have a website called amyzollersart.com, and it's kind of just there. I haven't completely figured it out, but I did release it. So I did release it to the world. I got to figure out how to work the blog, I think. Like, I don't say enough in poetry. I'm afraid if I write a blog, I'll never have anything to say in poetry. So that's the dilemma. All right.
You find plenty.
Probably.
I'm actually pasting that in chat.
Cool. Thank you.
Right. How about you, Pete? Coming up.
I'm just working on writing again, really, because a lot of the thought went into the book and stuff like that, and so just dreaming up thinking up new ideas for this year. Really, thinking on carrying on. Maybe a little series of like The Outsider, The Ghost, The Collector, and then carrying on and joining those up as a bit like H.P. Lovecraft, where you knew where his story was based just by the surroundings and that sort of thing. Maybe it's create a little universe with more characters and that kind of thing. We're just working on one at the moment, just trying to. It's difficult. You're not trying to repeat yourself. That's the thing. I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Especially in this kind of form as well. I find it's like that's why I didn't do a lot of vampire poetry, because I didn't want that. I wanted different perspectives, but I didn't want to repeat the same thing, if you see what I mean. And it's, yeah, we said that last time.
Yeah.
So
probably. Well, no, I was just realized that's probably why creatives have to die, because if we start repeating ourselves, that's a fate worse than death.
I could just imagine this party we'll all be at. It's like, yeah, it'll be the darkest party you've ever been to. Everyone's so happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's other sort of say non-dark, well, sort of dark horror poetry that I could possibly put into another book at some point, but I'm not too sure at the moment. Being new to this kind of thing, and always sort of, yeah.
You're kind of taking it by storm a little bit, Neil, but like kind of cooking along there pretty darn well.
Oh, I'm actually, funny enough, I'm actually doing a mini book signing. I did a friend of mine last Saturday night. We had a few beers and sort of got drunk. So I've got to go. So this looks like it's going to be a theme. I'm going to be going around Portsmouth signing these books with people. Getting
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
So you're good at marketing yourself.
No, you're joking.
No, it helps to get people drunk, though. That's what I've learned.
I was going to say,
yeah.
I was filing that away. Yeah. Big John's Corner Bar, here I come. Hey, guys, I brought my books.
Yeah. Well, when I was at the Satanic Flea Market, Jim was selling my book off his stall. And every time somebody would pick the book up, Mel, my wife, would say, "Go on, Pete, go on." I said, "No, just let him. I don't want to pressure him. Just leave it. Leave him do it." And there was this lovely couple. This mother and her daughter came up, and she said, "Oh, what about the book?" And I said, "Do you know what? I'm absolutely shit at this. I've never done this before in my life." I said, "It's got vampires, werewolves, and other things in it and stuff." I didn't know. How do I sell that? It's like, it's really good. You should buy it. Yes. It's like,
well, if you like vampires and werewolves, it's for you.
Yeah, And the lovely thing was that her daughter said, she must have been about 16. She said, "I'm just excited to go home and read it."
Oh yeah, that's a great feeling. Yeah, I love it.
So yeah,
awesome.
I think it's a case of see what goes. Yeah.
We will expect that by 224. I'm just letting you know.
So, and I'd like to take this point actually to thank you two for everything that you've done for me. And support has been absolutely brilliant. It's just been great. Thank you very much indeed.
We love your work. We love it. Very enjoyable. I'm glad that book's there.
Yeah, me too.
So,
I will say, I can confess this to you now because, we know each other and everything, but I was so mad at you in the beginning when you were in that first issue of Space and Time because you wouldn't use your last name. And I believe that Amy remembers this bitch fest because I was like, people are going to think it's a typo that I don't know this guy's last name.
That was probably an off-air thing. Yeah.
Oh, do you know what that was? I did get an email asking me, did you want to use your name Pete or Pete Kelly or something like that?
That was me.
Oh, no. Well, I got the question round the wrong way and I said, I don't mind. It's like, or just use Pete. I do apologise now. I just misread it.
Yeah, well, no, that's fine because sometimes people will be or like it's your name, like an artist's name, like Bono. What is Bono's last name?
Oh no, please no. And the last person who called me Bono, I had to kill.
I know, but
no.
What do you think
about this? It sort of takes away the Yeah.
Oh, the effect. Aha! So now we
That's
know what he
awesome.
looks like without
Yeah.
the facial hair.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. We were just
Yeah.
laughing at him the other day. You've heard that, what is it? Oh, shoot, Negative Land. There was a band called Negative Land in the 90s. My husband and I met at the college radio station. And it took, on one side was a U2 song that they're playing it in the background, and one of them is reading the lyrics, but like in a really funny way. One of the guys it's a U2 song, and so they put on the album cover U2 Negative Land, like they're the band, so people would be fooled and buy it, and they got in so much trouble. The other side is like Casey Kasem like cussing out his engineer, no kidding, because of somebody had played a Lively song right before he had to do the long distance dedication, which was about a dog that had died, and he's like blankety blank bleep, good golly, Miss Molly. It was I just like would laugh and laugh. And he found it on YouTube, and we watched this thing about it. So we were just laughing at Bono the other day. So we're with you.
That's so funny.
Sorry, Bono. Bono's a big fan of mine, but I have just let him down, right?
The show is canceled now because of that comment.
Sorry, Bono. It's like
They
when
can try.
Morrissey has such a mouth on him, and he like disparaged the princess. I was like, what if she's a fan? She might be a really big. That's so sad. I don't know. I'm American.
Morrissey.
Morrissey.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my husband loves the Smiths, and we saw Johnny Marr in Omaha, Nebraska, and he was amazeballs. It was this little venue, just Johnny Marr, and it was kind of like this place in Columbia we used to go to called the Blue Note. It's just not a huge place, and we're all kind of up at the stage, and he would like make eye contact with every single one of us. He was a blessing. Now Morrissey, I know, is a complicated person, and such. So no, but Johnny
so
Marr, yes.
Well, he's a complicated fellow apart from his lyrics. I mean, they're
yeah.
I will say I was a huge Morrissey fan back in the 80s when I was a Morbid teen, and then I grew out of it.
I'm sorry, I'll just say right here and now, I love his song about how he wants to stay at the YWCA and all that. I like his lyrics sometimes.
You know that song "Sing Me to Sleep."
Uh-huh.
I used to sing that to the kids all the time when they were little because I don't know a lot of lullabies, and that sounds like a lullaby.
Right.
So probably about 2 or 3 years ago, my adult daughter, now they're all adults, she said something about like, yeah, and I was singing that song that used to sing to me, to my baby, and it was so beautiful. And I said, oh yeah, I love that song. Did you know that's about suicide? Like that is about like, Morrissey sang it from the Smiths back in the 80s. I tried to commit suicide to that song a couple times, and that's why I did. And she's like,
Ooh.
Mom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm ruining it again, aren't I?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I get it.
Sorry.
Sometimes we just say things and forget. I said to my kid the other day in the car because he was looking at his phone and I wanted him to listen to me. I wanted to be an object of fascination. And I said, I think I'm being prepared for either loneliness or death. And he's like, Mom, I'm going to throw up. I'm like, don't do that.
Nina's over here counseling me that, yes, Angela, that's a suicide piece. Why are you singing it to your kids? They didn't know that, Nina, at the time. It's just, it's point of view. Like, they didn't know that. It's just a nice song.
Yeah.
Yep.
I used to, mine was Come As You Are by Nirvana. Used to send my son to sleep all the time. Yeah. I don't know what that's about, but
whatever comes to you.
I've got to think now.
Depending on like what point of view, that could be a suicide. Come as you are.
Yeah.
Oh man, it doesn't matter what you sing. My kid, like I would sing like "Bye Bye Blackbird" because we sang it to the old folks' homes when I was in elementary school because they were all like from the 20s, it was like a 1926 song or something. And I mentioned that to him the other day and he's like, oh my God, that song made me so sad. I'm like, why? And he's like, because I knew I was going to have to be by myself. I'm like, oh, and I never would have left him by himself. His dad was so conventional about like, he's got to learn to sleep by himself. I'm sorry, I'm throwing my husband under the bus here, but I was afraid to sleep by myself precisely until the moment when I was 10 years old and my sister vomited on the bed next to me. And I'm like, never sleep with anybody again, goodbye. Nope, I will now sleep by myself forever. But till I was 10, it was a long time. Oh We're getting it all out.
I know. I was
Yeah.
going to say,
Oh,
through
yeah.
tradition- well, it is spilling the ink, so you know
Yeah.
all the secrets get revealed.
Exactly. There are no secrets left. We are taking our perspective to the road. Yep.
Yeah.
You guys, I have to.
I was going to say, I think we've gone way over time,
Oops.
but
Like, Mom. Oh well. Learn
you
to
know
drive,
what?
right?
Cancel us. Oh wait, you can't. Technology.
Free country. Yeah. Free countries. Yeah.
But I do want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you guys. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Amy.
thank
Thank
you.
you for
Thank
being
you.
here and for your poetry and for being
Thank
who you
you.
are. Thank you for people who are watching us for putting up with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I
For
can't think of
getting on
anything
that
else to.
train.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hotter than hell here, so I'm gonna go take another cold
Oh,
shower.
He'll have a siesta. Siesta time. Yeah. I'm gonna go out to the cold day and pick up my
I'm going
child.
to turn the heating up. I'm going to turn the heating up. I'm going to
No,
walk in.
I'm gonna put
And I'm
on
gonna
this
take a
fuzzy
shower.
jacket that I just
Leave my
got
hair
on
wet.
clearance at Kohl's. It's warm, Angela.
Oh, sorry.
Can't find the sleep.
See,
There we go.
I am wearing a t-shirt. See?
I got a long sleever and a fuzzy jacket now. All right, got off into the world I go. Thank you, Angela, for this. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We
Thank
will be
you.
doing this again next month, same time. I'm doing this show every week at this time, but every first show will be dedicated to poetry, which this one should have been last week, but got messed up because of, details.
So first Saturday, like Cake and Hyperbole used to be,
Yeah.
will be
So, yes,
the
will be
poetry
the
version of
poetry.
this.
Yeah. So, all right. Love you guys.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Everybody for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you.
Yes, thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.